Checking in again with Quincy City Council President Ian Kane for an update on the April Fool's Day edition of the City Council meeting. Ian, how are you?
And that city council meeting was no joke, Joe.
It was a full agenda, actually, for sure. But a lot of things, I guess, went into committee, right?
That's true. Yeah. Want me to just run down?
Yeah, why don't we start actually with a nice honor for the girls varsity basketball senior captain?
We did, yeah. So we honored Ava Bryan, North Quincy High School girls varsity basketball senior captain. Obviously, another Counselor at Large, Scott Campbell, has been bringing in all these awesome student athletes who are just doing incredible things. I want to say that Ava was one of 10 or 11 North Quincy High School students that have achieved 1,000 points
Oh,
in all 4 seasons. So that's pretty impressive. I've known Ava, the Bryan family, the White family, the Flynn family for a long time. They're in all parts of Quincy, good people all around, big, strong Quincy family. And so it was nice to see Ava celebrated for this achievement. And she's on the way, I believe, to do a gap year at Phillips Exeter to play basketball there before she proceeds on to college. So
wow, congratulations to her and her family, too. Nobody does that by themselves, that's for sure.
no, of course not. Of course not. You need big family, big support who are there to cheer you on, you know?
Yeah, yeah. It's always nice, I think, to be recognized by your community and things like this, commendations from the people that you live with.
Oh, so much. Yeah, it's great. It's great to see. I mean, I hope we continue to do more things like this for subsequent council meetings. So
Absolutely, yes. I was turned down for the high school basketball team myself, Ian.
why, Joe?
Well, people who know me know I'm vertically challenged, so
Well, we can't tell through the screen, and you could have been a
that's
hell of a point guard. You know, who knows?
oh yeah. Only if I trip them by getting between their legs. But that's great. I'm glad to see that.
So, going into the regular agenda, we had a series of appropriations, 5 of them, in fact. So the first was an appropriation from community preservation, and it was categorized as historic preservation. So there were two funding items in this $92,500 appropriation. The first is for walkway and approach for ADA compliant ramp access to the Adams Family Crypts in the First Parish Church, and 17,500 to restore a wrought iron fence at the Dorothy Quincy homestead, which was damaged, unfortunately, in a motor vehicle accident. So that was just a transfer from the Community Preservation Commission.
Okay, and
Uh,
that was approved, I'm assuming.
I'm sorry, yes, that was approved. Yes. And then we went into a presentation and a series of appropriations from the DPW and from Granite City Partners, the engineering firm that works with DPW, on rolling capital improvement plan improvements that would take care of more of the underground infrastructure work, including the water mains and the sewer lines and storm drains, and then of course like the sidewalks and the roadway work that sits on top. In particular, there were 3 appropriations, 2 of which went into committee, which would approve. One is a $7 million appropriation and a loan that would be for fiscal year 25 sewer system improvements. And this is a loan that's facilitated through the state. It's a low interest loan. I think in this case, we're looking at, I don't know what the number is exactly for the loan. Anyway, we can come back to that. But I know that the second one, which is a $2.5 million loan for lead service removal from homes, is a 0% interest loan over 10 years. So that's a good one. Those 2 appropriations went into Finance Committee, which will be heard at a subsequent date. The third appropriation was for $1.3 million, and that's for a rehab loan for Squantum Elementary School. And so this fund, which these funds were transferred from, is funded by developers who develop in the city of Quincy. And so that is just a sort of inter account transfer, no loan there. That's cash. We approve that. So that work will commence soon. I know that Councilor Harris is pleased with that.
Okay, and this is for the current Squantum school, right? Not the proposed new one.
That's correct. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, very good.
And then we had one more appropriation for $157 million for the district improvement financing. This is the next phase of the DIF which has, been governing project-related work in the downtown. And that went into finance. So we'll hear more about that next Monday at our finance committee meeting. There was an accompanying order on an amendment for the urban revitalization and development plan for the downtown. And you read this, it's just so fascinating to see that, we've been in this, this project for downtown and urban renewal, since about 2007. So, this has been a crazy, long process, but it's great to see how much of it has come together and that we continue to make strides, especially in the face of other areas that are not seeing, so much activity in their downtowns and their main streets and development work and people committing to, to growth like we have. So we'll hear more about that next week. There was another order that was also referred to finance, which is an amendment to an agreement with Fox Rock Properties for a land disposition agreement that will govern the construction of one of the parking garages that is intended to be constructed in that associated with that development on that parcel. And last but not least, Councilor Minton introduced a resolution that would change the zoning classification of the parcel located at 954 Hancock Street, which I believe is they call it the stable or the carriage or something like that, where they keep the buses, the bus terminal. So that's currently Residence D, and Councilor Minton is seeking to have that changed to open space. So that was put into ordinance committee, and that will be heard, at a subsequent ordinance committee meeting.
Okay, so a lot of committee meetings will be very, very busy in the coming months. Sounds like
We will, especially because we've got the budget coming in probably towards the end of April, the beginning of May. So I think finance is going to be very busy, but this is just part of the yearly procedure.
Right. So personally, Ian, how do you feel about especially the urban revitalization and development plan amendments, kind of expanding the districts?
I feel fine about it. I mean, I think the work that we've seen so far has been good, and I mean, I hope that we continue, as I said, to see more of that. I'm happy to support continued work that adds to the tax base and alleviates some of the residential burdens that we, continue to face. You're seeing cities and towns that are not as fortunate as Quincy right now, places like Braintree that are laying off teachers. You're seeing Brookline having the same issue, and you're seeing Boston line up in the same way. In Boston, which has had, a construction and development boom over as far as you can remember, that's an unfortunate place to be, where you're kind of coming to this place where things aren't coming together as they once had. So, I think that we're in a fortunate place. I know that I've heard anecdotally the mayor talk about the budget being a bit more lean this year, and so we're ready to look at that with a fine lens. But certainly to answer your question, yes, I'm fine supporting expansion of the urban rural area.
Okay. So when's the next council meeting?
The next council meeting, Joe, is the 22nd, I believe. Okay. And then, as I said, the finance committee meeting will be at 6:00 next Monday, the 8th.
Okay, very good.
Yeah.
On to more personal news from you, Ian, regarding your political future.
What political future is that, Joe?
That may be a run for the United States Senate seats representing Massachusetts.
Yeah, that may be. And I appreciate your asking. We just formed a committee with the Federal Election Commission. And so, right now, just kind of buttoning things up, making sure that we can get onto the ballot. It takes 10,000 signatures to do so. It's a Herculean effort to really build this organization from the ground up. It's kind of, as I say, a high growth startup. So we're just making sure that we can build the organization and put things in place. But we'll be making a more formal announcement about this towards the end of the month. So as always, please stay tuned.
What is the deadline for submitting your signatures?
The deadline for signature submission is May 7th.
Okay. So how will you undergo the collection of signatures, Ian? How is that going to happen? Who knows Ian Kane in Great Barrington?
Yeah, well, they'll get to know me, but I think there's it's an all-out effort of ground troops that will have been and will be collecting signatures on the ground. So it's catching people to collect a signature. I would be running as a Republican, and you can collect signatures from registered Republicans or 64% of the unenrolled voters in the state. So there's plenty of people to collect them from on the streets.
Have you named a campaign manager?
No, not yet. But again, I'll certainly keep you informed. I want to make sure that, of course, you and the people that I currently represent in Quincy know what's going on and my intentions, so that we can make sure that there's continuity of service.
Yeah, will you continue serving on the city council at the same time?
I would, yes.
And if you are elected, could you continue to serve on the city council?
I don't believe so. Yeah, I don't think so, but haven't gotten that far yet. We're still in the initial planning stages, so stay tuned.
All right, do keep us in the loop. We appreciate that.
I shall.
All right, thanks for your time, Ian. Take care.
All right. Thanks, Joe. See you later.